Welcome in, everyone. How are we doing? Top of the morning to you. It's Saturday, people. It is Saturday. We are here today. Let's get up. It is 4:56 in the morning. We're on this walk and talk this morning. How's everybody doing? Welcome in, Top Gun, Flex. What's going on? Thank you for being here this morning. Let's do this walk. Let's do this talk. Let's have a great day today. Thank you for being up. Thank you for checking in. Everyone made it through another week, made it to the weekend. Let's shape this weekend nice. Let's do it like we mean it, people. Let's be committed. Thank you, as always, as you drop in, as you check in. Drop down below where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. Let me know where you're checking in from. What's going on with you? How has your week been this week? Appreciate everyone for being here. As always, we're going to start with gratitude. Out in Wisconsin, Top Gun, 357. Got that extra hour of life. Every time you watch, you're peering into the future. This is what your day is going to be like an hour from now. Oh, man. Feeling good. It's Sunday. It's Saturday. Out here. What is this? July 19th, people. It's the 19th day of July. Summer is officially upon us. Days are long. The sun shines. We grind. We grow. Today, got a great talk. I believe it's a good topic. Make sure you take a look at that little survey question. Again, as you check in, let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know what time of day it is where you are. Morning, afternoon, evening. Are you starting your day? In the middle of it, or are you finishing your day up? We're gonna go up here to the little hilltop, take a look around. That one guy, 2 a.m., okay. What's that? Okay, I'm sorry, dude. It's 10:59 a.m. Close to the end of the day for one guy. Sorry, dude, it is 11. That's 11 a.m. Almost noon, that's midday. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for stopping in. It's your morning motivation. For those of you who are at the beginning of your day, let's get up, let's get at it. For those of you in the middle of your day, keep grinding. Remember, Every time I turn the camera around, I tap the mic. My bad, people, my bad. My bad, I think I'm back. Can you hear me? So, focus. Don't get in front of yourself, right? Get too far out in front of yourself. Survey question is, how do you stay focused? What type of things do you do to keep yourself focused on any specific objective, any goal, the work that you're doing? How do you stay focused? Those two things tie together. First, I just want to say, welcome to your day. Welcome to your moment. Welcome to your energy. Let's be inspired by one another today. Let's be encouraged by one another today. Understand that despite our challenges, our growth and our opportunity in our life is within our hands. The more we know of what we face, the more prepared we can be to face it, the stronger we can be to move forward. Jeremy said, hey, by the way, I just subbed. Thank you, I appreciate that. I really appreciate the sub, Jeremy. Yes, Jeremy, I'm listening to you. You have subbed, it's good to know. So here's the thing. As we go through our process of development, as we go through our process of growth, as we go through the process of becoming the people that we believe we're capable of being, we have a responsibility to ourselves to make sure we're setting up a plan and we're traveling along the path in the right time, right? We have to make sure that we're keeping in mind that we are working towards a goal and we have a focus, right? Now, why is this important to us? Why does this even matter to us? Well, that is what we're going to use to drive our focus. That one guy over here, what? Over here, Whiskers. What are you doing? Right now, guys, I'm out on this walk and talk. Thank you very much for stopping in. Gotta limber up some. These 52-year-old bones and muscles require a little heat added before we get too far into the walk. They might start crumbling. But again, thank you for being here. So, how do you stay focused? What do you do to stay focused? And what are you focused on? Right? Probably should have thrown that in there again. We have Comrade Whiskers. You remind me of a young Denzel, all right? So here's the thing about focus, people. Here's the thing about growth and the work that we do. We oftentimes get too far in front of ourselves with our focus. And the focus is the thing that you're fixated on, right? So focus is that thing that you have the narrow vision on. When we're working towards a goal, we have to focus on the moment, because if we focus or attempt to focus on too big of an area or too wide of an area, we can lose ourselves in that process. We can lose the goal in that process. So, being focused requires for us to have a thing, right? Requires for us to have something to look at. Now, why is this important? Well, if we're not focused on the thing that we're working on, we'll find that our results wander, they vary. The ability to build consistency is off. It's challenged because we're not focused, right? Now, this begs the question, what should we be focusing on, right? What should be the thing that we're focusing on? If we have a goal, right? Fitness goal, financial goal, whatever it is, what is the thing that we should be focused on? There is that immediate thing, and then there is the bigger picture. They all require our attention, but we have to focus on the right thing at the right time in order to make sure we're doing that thing well. This is why multitasking has been studied and shown not to be great. It is not as beneficial or rewarding as one would think it would be. Focus is important. That one guy, that's respect. Rain, don't get it twisted. Okay, and then we have Adeline says, good morning. God bless you. Really helpful to listen to. God bless you. In special forms. Thank you, Adeline. Good morning to you as well, Rain. I can't deal with the Denzel lie. I must leave this place. Thanks for stopping in, Rain. Take care. That one guy. What if I have nothing to work on? If you have nothing to work on, dude, then relax, chill. Like, listen. If you don't have anything to work on, enjoy it. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy life. What if I don't work on anything? Okay, then you're happy. Be good where you are, right? I come out here, guys, and I offer motivation, I offer encouragement. I offer advice and guidance. Here's the big thing though, guys. This is gonna be the really big thing. Be happy in that process. What's for breakfast today? Today I'm gonna be doing 2 egg whites and a whole grain bagel. I'm trying to cut back on the dairy. I love me some pepper jack cheese. That's gonna be that, and then a piece of fruit. I don't know, maybe an orange or a banana. Top Gun, you can always work on yourself. You can, but if you don't want to, don't. I mean, there's always something you could be doing, right? You could be reading a book. I'm not working on anything. Oh, well, I'm working on reading more. There's always something you can be doing. But don't feel like I'm telling you, you have to be doing it, right? And that's the thing, Top Gun. That's the thing that we have to keep in mind when we are talking to people, and when we're engaging with people. There's this aspect of being ourselves, or there's the aspect of advising someone how to be the best version of themselves, or to be us, right? Now, I got 7 children. You best believe I tell my children every day that you could always be working on something, right? I shared with you not long ago that one of my concerns is that my children come to me like, hey, Daddy, I was wondering if we could do blah, 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 blah. Or, Daddy, I wanted to show you this. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I appreciate that. That's nice. Where's your computer? Have you focused on this educational component that I was sharing with you? Have you finished your work in this space? Did you get this done? Have you done your exercise for the day? Like, there's always these things that we can put in front of us, and there's areas for growth, right? And that can be a focus. However, people, do not confuse the fact that you can be working on something, that you have to be working on something. That is 100% up to you. If you do work on something, try to work on something that's enjoyable. Work on something that's going to give you a result, something that's going to give you a benefit, right? That's going to be important. And so, as we go through our life, as we go through our work, as we go through what we do, it's incumbent of us to continue to build and grow, to continue to focus on the right thing. I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's some guys in the distance who are screaming. I think they're hoping to get onto the sound. So if any of you guys are in the chat, any of you guys are watching me live right now, and you want to roll up and talk to me personally, please do. Please do. My light's on. You can find me. I'm not an odd figure to find, and I walk a fairly similar route. At some point, if this continues, I may turn around just to talk to the guys, just to say good morning. But right now, I'm going to be focused. And what I'm focused on right now is this walk and talk. I'm focused on this conversation and how we stay focused, right? So let me see. That one guy says, if I was your kid and never cared for any of it, how would you deal with me? Couldn't find joy. Birds going great. Not sure what birds going great means, but focus is to put 100% of your thought on the one subject and another. Make with Mike, how you doing? So for me, I'm not sure what for me means, Mike, but here's the thing. Here's the thing that's going to be important, right, guys? Here's the thing that I want to say about it. The question that you asked about if you were my child and you didn't find the joy, oh, then that would be a concern, right? So you don't have to find joy in finding things to do. But my concern is that you're a happy child and a well-developed child, right? So I have a responsibility as a parent to provide guidance. Again, now, some people may think this sounds harsh. As long as you're my child and you're in my house, I am responsible for what you do and how you feel. Like that falls on me as your parent, right? Many things have to be dictated because you're a child and you don't have the good sense to do the right thing. Not because you're stupid, you're a child, you just haven't experienced anything. So you don't know. My son so my wife and I have a different channel. My wife has a channel that she's built for our family where our oldest son just got his first job. And in the process of getting his first job, we talked repeatedly about some of the things he would experience. I engaged with him repeatedly to share with him some of the things he could expect to see. And every time I did, he told me I was wrong. Okay, I guess you have to wait until you see it. And then when he saw it, my son is famous for this one. My wife says I focus on this too much. He would see it and he would come back and act like it never happened. Or he'll change his position and say that's not what he said. No, you don't understand. So he's 16, I have to offer him guidance. I have to let him know this is what you're going to do with your paycheck. Here's where you're going to deposit it. Here's where you're going to put it. What do I need? Yeah, listen, you're 16, you don't have good sense. You don't have enough sense to know what it's going to be like when you're 26 because you've never been 26. I'm going to lay this out for you. I'm going to show you these things. I'm going to let you see over time how these things grow. Before you leave my house, you'll know. Now, at some point, you're going to have to take it upon yourself to do whatever you want to do, to be whoever you want to be. I can't control you in that. I can't make you be that. But if I share with you with love, if I share with you with kindness, if I can impart to you the vision and why I am sharing with you what I'm sharing with you, then it gives you the opportunity to be able to take this into your life, to be able to take this into your future in the way you live outside this house. Which is cool. When you're an adult, you're my child. Even as an adult, you'll never stop being my child. I'll never stop caring. But I have a responsibility while you're in my house to nurture you and raise you in a specific way. And so I focus on doing that. The birds waking up in the background. Oh, yes, the birds are waking up. Mike says, pride is taking credit for something that you didn't do. Maybe he accidentally feels surprised and is embarrassed to admit he was wrong. I'm sure God will help you and your family. You're both very positive. Part severe comes after persevere. So persevere comes after motivation. Preserve is to get through something no matter how difficult it is. Yes, to preserve. True. Yes, thank you for sharing with that. And again, this is about how do you stay focused, right? The Walker talks about how we stay focused. I believe this part that we're talking about right now in regards to my 16-year-old son is important. So we have to live in the relationship. We have to live in these moments. My son's 16, and like I said, it may sound harsh, but it's just a way of saying it without sugarcoating it. And you don't have to be truthful with what people call brutal honesty. It doesn't have to be brutal. What I mean is when I say my son's 16 and I say you just don't know, you haven't experienced it yet. It's because we've been teenagers. We've encountered teenagers, and many of us have raised or are raising teenagers. There is this critical point as a teenager where before you are ready, and this is what I mean about you're getting ahead of yourself. Before you are ready, you have all of the things physically to get there, right? Before you are ready before your brain has developed all of the required connections to be able to deal with certain difficulties and challenges, your body is producing the chemicals to say that you are, right? So somewhere around 13 or 14, you start developing the chemical release that says you're your own person. You can do what you want to. You can be where you want to. He's getting his license. He's in the process of doing that yet. State we live in has a requirement, but yes, he's driving as far as he's learning to drive. So he does drive. He just doesn't drive on his own yet. So part of the responsibility becomes for us to make sure that we're working on developing him and strengthening him, because his body's telling him he's grown. And his brain has not developed the good sense to understand that he's not. And so he doesn't factor in certain things. The inability to factor those things in doesn't make him weak. It just makes him young. He's young, and we know that. So what do we do? How do we do as parents? How do we keep them from getting ahead of themselves? How do we help them stay focused? That is what I'm talking about now, is not getting ahead of yourself. You have to have enough leash to grow up. You have to have enough leeway to grow up, to get ahead of yourself, so that you can understand how not to get ahead of yourself. His curfew is 11:30. Missed it by an hour. It's not the end of the world. We're not going to walk around and act like it didn't happen. We're just, you missed your curfew. Talk to me, man. What's going on? How does that impact your life? How does that impact the life of others who live in this house? How does that impact the people who care about you? Now we're starting to learn how to take the things around us, because we have a focus. When you go out at night, when you go out as a teenager, your focus isn't on making it in at your curfew. I don't want that to be your focus. That shouldn't be your focus. You're out. You're with your friends. You're enjoying yourself. You're being safe. We've raised you well. We believe you have the ability to make good decisions. But we also know you're a teenager. We also know that you're 16. You're with other 16-year-olds, right? And we want all of you to make it back home, and we care about you, right? And I don't have the same concerns that my parents would have had, or that the generation before them would have had. I don't have the concerns that you're going to be lynched. I don't have the concerns that you're going to commit an armed robbery. I don't have the concerns that you're going to go out and kill someone or be abducted. Those aren't my concerns. My primary concerns are that you're just going to be a teenager. And sometimes just being a teenager is challenging enough. So what's the focus when you're out as a teenager? Your focus should be on having fun. But don't forget that you have these other things that are a part of your life. And that's what I mean when I say, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't walk out the house. And I remember doing this when I was young. Curfew was 11:30. I'm walking out the house thinking, how do I get back in at 2? Like, what's the 2 a.m.? What's the 2 a.m. punishment? Is it worse than the 1 a.m. punishment? I walked out the door trying to find ways around it. My focus was in the wrong place. I spent the majority of the evening trying to get around the end of the evening, so I didn't enjoy that initial part of the evening. It's about focus. It's about where we're putting our focus. Make It with Mike says, you gotta walk before you can run, and you gotta crawl before you can walk. Different phases, I agree. I know most teenagers wanna act like they're grown, like they're learned everything. Adult needs, they try their best. Like the video. Thank you very much, Mike. Elevated, welcome. How are you doing this morning? Make It with Mike says, the mistakes of your past is the wisdom of your future. True. But the problems of your present need to be addressed. You need to identify them, because the mistakes of your past don't become the mistakes of your past if in your present you believe those mistakes allow for you to, or those mistakes don't need to be answered. That's the concern, right? So your mistakes in your past are only beneficial to your future if you learn from them, which is why people who get in trouble for something or get disciplined for something or make a mistake, and versus trying to figure out the right thing to do, they try to explain why the wrong thing that they did needs to be fixed, or how it can be fixed, or what they should fix. Right? Oh, no. So perfect example, math problem. Somebody give you a math problem, they're like, okay, we'll solve this, find the solution, right? And you look at the math problem and then you come up with this answer and the answer's wrong. And then someone says, okay, well, here's the thing, here's the tool you should have used, or here's the path that you could have taken to get there. And they tell you, oh, well, I was thinking, so you know how when you could put this number with this and the way you can do that, I was thinking, yeah, but that was wrong, right? It's one thing if you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, your steps are fine. I work with my children all the time on this. Your steps were fine. You just did the math part wrong. The steps are correct, but this, when you multiply right here, this result right here is wrong, right? So the steps are more important than the results, because we can fix the math. Like, we can go back and say, hey, yeah, 8 times 3 isn't 22, right? We can fix that. So now, again, what are we focused on? Are we focused on the solution or the problem? And that's where your mistakes of the past becomes your tools for the future, is when we look back at those mistakes, we can identify them in the present. We can identify a mistake we're making in the present and say, okay, let's fix it. Let's correct it. So that in the future, we're not running into that same obstacle. We're not having that same difficulty in the future. All right, so we have Elevated says, thanks. True, thank you, Elevated. Adeline says, I keep finding myself time and time again, people out of the church helping me with my faith. It says a lot about what I'm supposed to do soon. I just got some reassurance from you guys. We appreciate that. We're glad we could reassure you and offer you that confidence, Adeline. Elevated said, yes, tell them, don't conform to things that this world, let me see, that all of it will let him down if he conforms. Love physical things, that spiritual growth is that nearby? Never ending growth. Okay. Cone says, what's happening, brother? Out here on this walk, man. Thank you for being here. Welcome in. Make what Mike says right. Those mistakes have to become valuable lessons in order to transfer to wisdom for the future. I agree. Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for your participation, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me on this walk and talk. That's why focus is important. That's what it means to get ahead of yourself. Like, where's your focus? Are you focused too far ahead of yourself? This is one of the things that's interesting because it's interesting how my son, my oldest son, has become a part of this conversation. He's learning to drive, right? He's learning to drive. And one of the things that in the process of him learning to drive is, where are your eyes at on the road, right? Where does the danger come from, right? What are you looking for? What are you looking to do? How do you prepare for it, right? So in our community, when you turn out of our community onto the main road, we have a bike lane and a bus lane and a merge lane. We got lanes, and then we have 2 lanes of traffic. When you're first learning to drive, that is very confusing, and it's on a freaking curve. So there are 2 ways out of our community. One way takes you directly to a corner where you have a turning lane that you can turn into and then merge out of that turning lane into traffic. The other one comes out of our community. It's on this curve, and it's like nose out, put your foot down, go, 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 right? So where's your focus? My son's trying to learn so many things. Where do my hands go at on the steering wheel? Are my mirrors set correctly? What lane should I be turning into? What's the speed limit? Where's this car coming from? Which of these lanes should I be turning? Like, he has all of these things that he's trying to do at the same time. And so for me, I've been driving for, longer than the law said I could. I've been driving for many years. And so for me, it's second nature. I whip out, get into my lane, I'm driving, I'm going. I know how to adjust the amount of pressure to place on the gas to accelerate confidently. Man, I'm driving. My son's 16. I want him to be confident to drive, but I also want him to be alive, right? And so what does this lead to? This leads to me wanting to give him the confidence to go, but also wanting to be able to keep him safe. And so we go to turn out the front of our neighborhood one time, and he mistakes the bus lane as his lane to turn into, and he kind of halfway turns into the bus lane and the first lane of traffic. And it shook him. I could see. I was like, wait, son, wait, because there was a car coming. He pulled out. It shook him. I could see that it did. Didn't say anything to him about it. He was like, well, the car's in the other lane, right? I'm like, you're good. I'm like, he just moved over from behind you. Like the other drivers, not everybody's an irresponsible driver. But it's fearful. It's scary for me because my son's learning this. He's taking the wheel of a vehicle, but he's still 16. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. He doesn't know that he doesn't know that braking isn't a thing where you slowly start. You want to feel the deceleration, and you should actually be letting up off the gas pedal. Up off the brake as you're coming to a complete stop so that it eases into the stop. He doesn't know that yet because he hasn't driven that much yet, but he's learning it. So why is all this important? Because it's, where are you focused, right? Is your focus on getting your driver's license, or is your focus on learning to drive safely? Is your focus on getting into the right lane, getting where you're going as quickly as you can, or being safe on the road and coming back safe and not damaging yourself or others? Where's that focus? Because we can have a lot of things that we're working on, but where are we focused? And are we focused too far ahead of ourselves? Are we focused on the fact that we need to get out of here, and up at this next corner, I need to make a left. And now we're focused on, when I get out of this driveway, I need to merge over a lane to my left to be in the left turn lane. We're focused too far ahead. The focus right now should be on the cars that are coming to make sure that we get out of this driveway, we get out of this neighborhood onto the main thoroughfare safely. Those are some of the things that we want to be in mind of. I'm gonna read a couple of things in this chat. Elevated, it's me 2 times, which is elevated me to you. Elevated says, I look to manage what I struggle with and don't let it hold me back as far as the focus. Top Gun said, life lessons that transfer from learning to drive, but be aware of your surroundings. Never trust that the other guy is going to do the right thing. Good quote. Well said, Top Gun. Mike says, I think recognizing the creators akin to recognizing your parents. The creator will help you just as your parents, but he will distance from you just as your parents do, though he will always love you. I call myself out on my own faults. I call it squirreling. Okay, squirrel can have a mission to cross the street. Dude, I've seen it happen, tragically, on our way to church. My wife, it was a bad experience on our way to church one morning. That thing you're talking about with squirreling happened, and right in front of us, it's a bad sight. But yeah, I've seen that. One of my favorite quotes is, this is still Mike. Mike says, one of my favorite quotes, some can't see the forest because of the trees in the way. If you look at the trees individually, how can you see the whole forest? Correct. Another good quote. And these are life lessons that you learn from learning to drive. Thank you so much again for your participation, guys. It's important to understand the focus. And so when I go back up, Elevated said, I look to manage what I struggle with and don't let it hold me back. And that's important, right? Because when you're looking to manage the things that you struggle with, meaning that you understand you have to be self-aware, right? You have to be self-accountable. That's the same thing you're saying, Mike. You're saying, hey, I'm squirreling, I'm all over the place. So when you become self-aware, then you can become self-accountable. Then you can focus on the thing that needs to be focused on in that moment. So for example, we've touched on a number of different topics. We've touched on a number of different conversations this morning. We've read some things from the chat. I've talked about some things, but the focus is being focused. So we have to make sure we're coming back around, right? We have to make sure we're coming back around and being focused on the right thing. We don't want to get too far out in front of ourselves, because when we get too far out in front of ourselves, right? Because I'm really big on, hey, get started. Start doing something. Stop sitting around. Stop waiting. And then that's a great way to say, okay, well, I'm going for it. And then we get in front of ourselves, right? So we have to be focused. So when you say, hey, well, man, I want to put my money to work for me, right? Because that's one of the things that I strongly suggest. Hey, one of the reasons that you're poor is because your money doesn't have a job. That's simply a wealthy mindset. You can work, you can exchange your time for money for quite a while. But to truly be wealthy, you want to start to have your money work for you, right? Have your money do work, go to work and grow for you. So your money is making money. It can do that while you're asleep. Anyway, if the focus is to say, hey, I want to put my money to work, right? And we say, you got to start somewhere. You need to get started. You need to go out there and get started. You take your whole next paycheck and you buy books on flipping houses, or you buy a used car and you've never done car flipping, or you go out and you invest all of your money in an ad that you got in your email about the next big cryptocurrency. Like, you do that, but you didn't do the work, right? You have to be focused. I do want to grow my money. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to put all of it in this thing, right? And you're like, oh, man, what happened? I'm going to go day trade. And you're like, oh, man, how do I lose all of my money and the stock that I bought still has value? How am I broke? How am I broke when I went into this with $3,000? I bought $3,000 worth of stock. The stock went down 30 cents. I have no money. How do I get here? It takes hard work to do that. It's called hustling backwards. But here's the thing, what's the focus? What I mean about you have to stay focused is just because you're getting started, you have to get started in the right place. If you need to get started, you need to get started with knowing what you're doing. You got to make sure you're going in the right area. You have to make sure you're doing the right work. You have to do the mental work. You have to ask the right questions to get to the right answers. So the question of what should I do with my money, I don't answer the question of what you should do with your money. What would you like to see your life look like in the future? Why are you even asking about what to do with your money? What is your current concern that has you saying, what should I do with my money? Let's delve into that. Oh, well, my current concern is when the COVID checks came out, I got 2 big screen TVs and I got rims for my car. Or I bought I put down a down payment on my daughter's house. Or I paid off all my credit cards, or whatever you did with the COVID checks. But now, here we are 5-6 years later, and the price of everything is going up. And I don't want to miss out. Like I need my money to be safe and to grow. What should I put it into? Okay, well, let's learn this lesson. The lesson we learned is that 6 years ago, you had an opportunity to start investing with money that was being handed out by the government, and you didn't invest that money because you didn't have the knowledge or because you just chose to do something different. Whichever one it is, it doesn't matter. Now you want to do something. Guess what? The stock market wasn't created 6 years ago. And the stock market, more than likely, isn't going to be gone 6 years from now. So let's start investing in stocks wisely. Let's start taking a look at what we need to do to grow our stocks wisely. Why? Because we have to be focused on the right thing. We cannot be focused so far down the road that we can't see the next step we need right in front of us. They tell you in the driving manual how far to focus ahead of you. In the United States, they say focus on your right because most accidents come from things coming from the right lane. It happens because when people turn out, like 16-year-olds trying to merge into traffic, they'll be coming from your right. When cars merge onto highways, they come from the right. When people are trying to get off highways, they're moving to their right. So it says be focused on the right. Keep your focus there, but also keep your focus 2 or 3 cars ahead of the car directly in front of you. Not 15 cars, not at the top of the hill, not a mile in the distance, not 3 miles in the distance. Keep a focus 2 or 3 cars ahead of you. So when you see their brake lights come on, you don't have to worry about rear-ending the person in front of you. These are all things that are designed to keep you safe and get you to where you're going safely, keep the people around you safe. And you're right, you can't assume that everybody around you is going to do the right thing. But in order to drive, you have to have some confidence that the rules that apply are going to be followed by many, are going to be followed by some. Otherwise, it's chaos. Right? So what does all of this mean? All of this simply means you need to have focus. We need to be focused on the right thing. And the right thing to be focused on is the thing that we are doing in that moment because it will contribute to the bigger thing. You need to be focused on the plan when you're creating it. You need to be focused on the steps when you're taking them. You need to be focused. Allen Iverson has this great commercial from many years ago that they still play now. It's like, practice? We talking about practice? Practice? Really? Practice? It's a really funny line. But if you go back and you read into it, the thing that Allen Iverson was saying is, I get it. I'm a talented young player. And there are a lot of other players around me. And we want to win a championship. And I have a coach who was a good player in his own right when he played ball. And he's proven to be a pretty good coach. But right now, I'm in here and I'm looking and I can see that our team needs a lot of things. Our team needs some additional parts. And right now, I'm carrying this team. Not as the braggart, but just as the simple fact that I'm doing a lion's share of the work on this team. And I want us to get better. We're getting ready to go into the playoffs, and I'm focused on that. And okay, my practice didn't go great, but now I have 50 reporters sitting around me asking me about what happened at practice versus what is the focus on winning the championship. We're talking about practice, all of the years that I practiced growing up, all of the practices I've been through since I've been in the league, all of the practices that we've never talked about before. But now we're sitting here and we're talking about practice. What's the flip side from the coach's position? Yeah, we need talent. You're the best player on the team. And if you can loaf off, they can loaf off. No, they can't. They're not me. But that's a whole other conversation. The coach's position is, I need you to show up to practice with the same type of fire that they need to have because they don't have the talent that you have. And if you're not the best in practice every day, if you don't beat them in practice every day, then they think that they're getting better. They think they're catching up. You have to beat them down every day. Kobe Bryant, best in practice. Michael Jordan, best in practice. Always best in practice. Kareem, best in practice. You can go back for years and you're gonna find out that on these teams, the best player, the player with the most talent was the best in practice. And he beat you down. He beat you down in the workout. He beat you down in before the game, after the game, during the game. Everything he did was better than what you did. And it's important to do that so that you know there's still space for you to get better. Now, what is all of this about? It's about the focus. What are we focused on? Are we focused on the right thing? Are we talking about and looking at the right thing for us to be able to grow? When you're practicing, you're focused on practice. Practice is to work on those things where you need to improve. There's a line that says, iron sharpens iron. You need to challenge yourself with things that are at the level to which you need to be challenged. That's how we grow stronger. That's how we sharpen. That's how we become better. That's how we grow our skill, our impact, and our placement, by having the appropriate focus. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I say this because in the discipline dividend, there are 4 pillars, and they are repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. And too many people believe, I'm trying to look at this comment that just came in. How to be sure to follow through. Yes, that's how you do it. I'm not sure what that one is. So here's the thing. This is why this is important. Here's why these focuses are important. Here's why the pillars of discipline are important. Because if we focus on the wrong thing, it can lead us to destruction. It can stop our development. When we focus on developing discipline and we think the first thing we need is consistency, it stops us from ever becoming consistent. Because we believe we need consistency, and we don't. If you've done anything where someone has trained you, if you've had a family member who has raised you to do anything, and they passed down a skill to you, they didn't start by expecting for you to have the answers. Kids in kindergarten don't need consistency. They need repetition. In the military, as Elevate has said, the Army doesn't start you out with discipline. They start you out with repetition. They break any concept of what you think is the right thing to do. They actually start you with chaos, the opposite of discipline. 2 o'clock in the morning, get up. What? This is, we just went to bed. Why? I rode a bus. I don't know why they still taking buses to Army bases. This doesn't make sense. There's gotta be a better. I couldn't just get somebody to drop me off. Why did y'all fly me 2 states over to have me get on a bus in the summer with no AC, or get on a bus in the window with broken windows to drive me to the Army base? I feel like this is an inappropriate use of taxpayer funds. The Army starts you in chaos. Get up, run, go over there, drop everything, pick it up, don't put it on the ground. They start you in chaos. You're like, oh, sweet Lord, this is complete disarray. And then they give you repetition. Do the reps. I say it, you do it. 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 It's repetition. And then they're patient because they know not all of y'all are gonna break day one, right? Bruce, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you here. They know not all of you are gonna break day one. Not everybody's gonna bend knee on day one. Some of y'all came here determined not to be broke, right? Some of y'all come here determined your focus is, I'm not gonna break. The military's focus is, I'm gonna turn you into something. I'm gonna give you principles and purpose. And they start with chaos, and then they build repetition. Take it apart, put it back together. Do a push-up. This is how you do it. Do it again. This is how you do it. Do it again. This is how you do it. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Physically, I keep telling you, physically is the first way you want to break yourself. You want to challenge yourself physically because it's the easiest way to teach yourself, I can do anything. Because you challenge your body, and your body is always going to tell you 15 is all you can do. And then they're going to push you, and you're going to do 20. And you're going to be like, I can do 20. You can, and we knew you could do it the whole time. You didn't. Until you believe in yourself the way I believe in you, you're never going to see the best version of yourself. They're breaking you down, and they're building you back up. They're turning you into something because they are focused. You got to focus on the right thing. We have to understand that in that process of developing discipline, it doesn't start with consistency. Consistency does not come until you develop a plan, and then you're working towards that, and you have a chart to measure it by. You don't go in the military with a chart. They have to get you to the point where you can even achieve. They're like, can you do a push-up? They have to find out which way to get at you mentally. Do I yell at you, or do I ignore you? Do I encourage you, or do I put you down? Do I challenge you, or do I uplift you? How do I get it out of you? They look at you and they learn. They don't train everybody the same, but the focus is the same. They have a focus. That's important because as we start to do discipline, as we start to grow, and we start to learn that we need to start with repetition. If you're trying to save money, don't go out and put all of your money into funds or bonds or whatever. We have to start making changes that are manageable. We have to develop some behaviors of discipline. Maybe if you want to start saving money, maybe you don't even start with money. Maybe you start with just getting up at the right time. Maybe you start there. No, don't get up and do meditation. Don't get up and exercise. Just get up. Start getting up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna just get up. I'm gonna be up. I'm getting up at 5. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm getting up. I'm up. It's 5 o'clock. I've been sleeping my life away. I'm up. Let's get up. You'll find something to do. You ain't finished that laundry last night. All right, let me go do laundry. You ain't cleaned the dishes last night. That's what the military does to you. Get up, make up your bed. You got 5 minutes. It's 30 of y'all in here. We got 6 sinks. All 30 of y'all need to get your face washed, your teeth brushed, your bed made, get dressed, and line up. You got 5 minutes. And I'm gonna mess with you the whole time. And we took 2 pillowcases. So 2 of y'all beds are guaranteed to be messed up. What y'all gonna do? We know it's 30 beds in here and 30 heads. We also know it's 28 pillowcases. We know y'all gonna fail this. We know you're gonna fail already. You don't know. but they're focused. It starts with chaos. Can you do it to yourself? Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm up, I'm making my bed. I'm getting dressed. I'm focused on the things I need to do. I'm not getting distracted scrolling through shorts. I'm not getting distracted watching the highlights from last night's sports. I'm not getting distracted catching up on group texts. I'm not getting distracted checking emails for things that I can't do anything about, where people are just sending me problems from the previous night because of the job that I hold. It is about starting with repetition. Get up, don't touch your phone for 5 minutes. That's when you start to understand, when you get the repetition and then you get patient and you know, I get it. All I'm doing right now is getting up. That's all I'm doing. I'm just getting up now. I'm up. I'm up. I'm up. It's 5 o'clock. I'm up. I've been getting up. I've been doing it for a while. Your body will ask for more. Your body will be like, you're up. Why are you up at 5 o'clock? Why are you up? I keep trying to chill. I'm sorry, Carr. Did I wake you up? That's good. I can't chill. I can't chill because this is focus. This is focus and discipline. And when you apply it correctly, you can get so far. You can do so much. Because once you get up and you start doing something with repetition, trust me, your body is going to be like, why are you doing this? If you don't have a why, you'll stop. Why are you doing this? I'm working on saving money. Okay. I mean, what does getting up at 5 a.m. have to do with you saving money? Let me think. What does getting up at 5 a.m. have to do with me saving money? Well, how much do you know about saving money? I don't know. Let's go find out. 5 a.m., study. I get up at 5 a.m., I find the top 3 books on saving money, the top 3 books on investing money. I find that, I look for it, I start to implement it, and I put it into my life. I start to grow with it. I start to spend time working on it. Why is this important? Because we have to focus on the right thing. We can't get too far ahead. Now when you get up at 5 a.m., you have something to do. Now we're working on consistency. Are you focused on your savings every morning? Are you focused on your growth? Do you understand where your money coming from and where your money is going? Have you developed a budget? What's the difference between saving money and investing money? You have to learn to save. The reason you have to learn to save money is because when you learn to save money, saving money is for the purpose of spending it later. But you can't invest money until you learn how to take money out of things that you're spending it on. That's saving. The first thing you do is you learn how to not waste money, how to not spend money on as many things as you should. Saving is saying, I drink coffees twice a day, every day. Saving is when you say, I'm going to drink coffee once a day, every day. So I'm cutting back on my coffee. That's saving. Now, that's just sitting it somewhere. You're not really doing anything. You're just repurposing it. I'm saving it so I can buy different drinks. Maybe I like beer. Maybe I like wine. Maybe I like to go out. You haven't really saved it. You just repurposed it. Saving, but you have to learn that you can take money from things and put it back in your pocket so you can put it into things that are going to grow. Now we're working on something. Now we're working on growing. This is important because we have to stay focused on the right thing. And if we get too far ahead of ourselves, if we do too much where we're too far ahead of ourselves and our focus is in the wrong place, then we're destined to fall off. Start over, try to figure it out again. That is what I mean about where are you focused? Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Definitely do something, but do the right thing. Don't just do something for the sake of saying I'm doing something. Be doing the right thing. It's another Spike Lee movie, Do the Right Thing. So why is this relevant, guys? Why is this important? Because as we develop discipline, if we're in the wrong place on discipline, it falls apart and we're consistently starting over. If we find ourselves consistently coming back and starting over because we were focused in the wrong place, we were focused on the wrong thing, or if we find ourselves with our growth stunted, I'm growing, but I thought I would be faster. I thought I would be ahead of here. It's because we're focused on the wrong thing. So it requires for us to find focus and to stay on that focus. And then as we stay on that focus helps us grow. It helps us develop. It makes us stronger. That's discipline, because that's the perseverance part. Because everything that you do with discipline works on the thing. Perseverance works on you. Right? Because the repetition is to work on that thing. You have to show up to math. You have to show up and do math. You have to get up in the morning. You have to lift the weight. You have to pick it up and pick it up and pick it up. Pick it up and put it down. It's what you do. It's how you develop strength. That's where your focus is, on that thing. And the thing that you're doing helps make you stronger in that way. And then after that, you have to have patience, knowing it's not going to be done tomorrow. It's not going to be finished in the morning. Perseverance, it shows through endurance. And then you have to be consistent. You can't be consistent without a plan. And this is the part where so many people get messed up, is because they try to be consistent in the beginning. You can't be consistent without a plan. Consistency requires that you be working on something measurable. That's what consistency is. Showing up at your job is repetition. It's not consistent. I'm here every day, right? You have a metric to be here on time. You are consistently late twice a week. That's your consistency. Your repetition is going to work. Your consistency is being late. You have a consistent pattern that we know 2 days a week you're not going to be here on time. Here's the part that's crazy. If we knew which 2 days it was, we could at least work with it. But you just choose 2 random days to be late. They don't even work together. One day you late Friday, one day you late Monday, 1 week you late Wednesday. I don't know how you were late twice on Thursday. How do you get here and then get here later? How do you get late twice on one day? That's your consistency, is that you're inconsistent. So that's the difference between repetition and consistency. I can't expect for you to perform in the way you should perform, because even though you show up, I don't know when you're going to show up. I know what you do when you get here. I just don't know when you're going to get here. That's the difference between repetition and consistency. So you have to have the repetition. I got a job. I'm showing up. I'm going to work. You have to be consistent. I showed up on time, and I know these are the things I need to get done, and I'm doing them. And I'm improving on them. I'm improving on the level in which I do them. Useless, right? You're useless. I can't even use you, right? So now you're showing up and you have consistency because you have a plan. The best thing is to have a plan for you. Forget the company's plan. What's your plan? Well, I want to be here. Whether it's a position in the company or a dollar amount, whatever it is, I want to be doing this. Okay, you got a plan. You want to know whether or not you're working for a good company? Go to them and ask them, hey, what's next for me? Huh? A good company has a plan for their people. You say, what's next for me? And they'll be like, listen, this is what we do. Let's talk. Where are you at? Where are you trying to go? That's a good company you're working for. Because if they have a plan for their people, then they have a roadmap for you to get there. Now you have something to work towards. Now you have something to work on. Now you have something to focus instead of just showing up, going through the motions. Okay, I'm here. Jesus Christ. It is freaking 8:30. I've been here for 45 minutes already. What? Man, what? It's not noon yet? I can't wait to Wednesday. I used to have this joke I used to tell on the job where I would say they might as well start the weekend on lunch Wednesday. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah. When you think about it, Monday you show up because, well, you got to. You had 2 days off and you're kind of getting sick of being with yourself because you don't like being home. So you show up Monday, you start doing work. Tuesday, you're already tired of being here working and all you do is complain about Monday. Wednesday, you're halfway through the week. By lunch, you're already making plans for Saturday. Thursday, all you're doing is trying to figure out if your check is going to get deposited today or are you going to have to wait till Friday. Friday, all you're doing is talking about the rest of the weekend and how much you hated this week where you didn't get anything done. And now you're in the weekend. You might as well start the weekend on Lunch Wednesday. Lunch Wednesday was officially the weekend, people. We're like, the productivity from this point on is going to be horrible. We know it. Here's what I'm saying with that, though. What I'm saying is, where is your focus? Where is your focus on the thing for you? It doesn't even have to be for your company. Where is your focus on the thing for you? The saying, I get his name wrong every time, it's Jim Rohn or John Rohn, but someone always corrects me. The saying of work harder on yourself than you do on your job is a simple saying, but it's poignant. All it's saying is if you get up every day, if you don't even like your job, you should at least care about you. But you get up begrudgingly with an attitude at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready to drag yourself out in the traffic to get to your job by 8 o'clock. You do that every day. They say, we need you here. You with as much strength as you can muster, drag yourself out your bed to make it to your job. And then the first time you get a day off, you sleep till noon. I'm not getting out of bed till 1 o'clock. That's your time. And now you're telling this company, hey, I keep coming in here. I keep coming in here every day. Give me more money. You don't even like being here. You think we can't tell? And you don't care about yourself. You don't do anything to value you when you're not here. So you're telling me you don't care enough about yourself to work on yourself in any way to improve yourself. Why do you think companies say, tell me something about you? Why do you think that question is important? Because it's to find out, do you have anything about you that has value to you? Tell me about yourself. Oh, well, sure, what would you like to know? No, that's bullcrap. Tell me about yourself. What is it in you that you care about? I can tell you about me, man. I got to focus on the future for my family, building generational wealth that will last for years, for centuries, on developing and instilling the type of character and people that will do better in the world and build and strengthen communities. I can tell you about me. I can share that with you. Why is that important? Why is that important? Because when you can tell somebody about you, a company's like, we got a person. We have a person here. We got a body. Tell me about you. What you want to know? I go to church on Sundays. I collect things. You ain't even focused on collecting. You know what? I like to spend time, I really like quiet time. And then you wonder why a company doesn't want to invest more time in you, doesn't want to invest more money in you, doesn't want to invest more effort in you. You're not investing in yourself. You cannot expect for someone to care more about you and invest more in you than you're willing to invest in yourself. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you're getting up at 6 o'clock for your job, get up at 5 o'clock for you. This is my hour. I gotta get up to go in this job because I'm exchanging my time for money. But this 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock is mine. I'm gonna read, I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna eat, whatever I'm gonna do. This first hour of the day is mine. We have to understand that. We have to start to understand what it means to truly work on ourselves, to invest in ourselves. Don't keep asking me to put more time into you and you don't want to put time into yourself. Somebody asks you what you want to do when you retire and you go, man, Ain't got no thoughts. Keep working. Why retire? Keep working. Stop believing you need to retire. It's about the focus, people. We can't develop discipline if we're too far ahead of ourselves. We have to find out what we need to be focused on and work on that focus and work on ourselves in the process. I'm gonna go back and try to catch up with some of these chats. Bruce way back says, 1 plan, wake up. 2nd plan, be there. 3rd plan, learn it. 4th plan, be better than everyone around you. 5th plan, stack the grip. 6th plan, don't get lost. Go back to step 1. Well said, Bruce, I like that. They sliding through, yeah, they sliding through work. But check to check. Living check to check. What else we have? Bruce, you was in it. You were lighting the comments up, Bruce. You was on fire, bruh. I'm thankful to have work, having something to do and working towards the things I want. Legacy. Elevated said, yes. My glasses are fogging up every time I stop moving, guys. I got a hot face. I think my face is too hot. My face is steaming up my glasses. Chamoy, thanks for dropping in, Chamoy. Right now it is 6:07 in the morning. I might have missed that earlier. Cheap Work by Cal Newton. Conqueror. No, I haven't. I don't think I've read that yet. I'll check it out. I'll take a look. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. One, thank you for being here this morning. If you haven't had a chance to smash that thumbs up, go ahead and do that. Double tap the screen and hit the like button wherever it's at on there. I really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything, right? And that's, hey, Young Conqueror, that's Newton, right? You say that the author of the book is Newton, Newton. Cal Newton. Here's why it's important, guys. Here's why the focus is important. And here's why the focus on your growth and your development is important in the right space. It's important because in order for us to truly develop discipline, we have to follow the right steps at the right place and time. We have to be energized. We have to understand that it's possible. It's not easy. That's why perseverance is important. Perseverance is the thing that lets you know that you are prepared to be where you are when you get there. Newport. Okay, Cal Newport. Got you. It's important for you to know that when I get where I'm going, I'm prepared to be there. That's what perseverance does for you, right? Because just because you show up to work doesn't mean that you're prepared to be a leader in that space just because you keep showing up. You got to persevere some things. You have to go through the development of yourself to understand, because here's the simplest thing. And for any of us who's had a job working along people, you want to know why so many people leave companies and why companies don't develop from within? Because the people within the company that are looking to be leaders are worried that if they move past someone who was there before them or who came in with them, they're fearful of what they'll have to do if that person isn't happy about their promotion. That's what perseverance does for you. Perseverance teaches you how to understand that they ain't mad at you, they ain't hating you, they ain't happy they didn't get the job. But this is what being a leader is about. This is what being a true leader is about, is being able to look at them and look in the eye and say, hey, I get it, I understand. You would have liked for this to have been your position. You've shown up here a whole lot. You're very repetitious in showing up. And I want to see you where you want to see you. Are you willing to do the work to get there? Let's confront this head to head. Let's not walk around and act like we don't know it's a problem. Let's not walk around and act like you're not bothered by the fact that you're 52 years old and you've been here doing this for years. I'm 28 years old with a college degree, and I've been doing it for a year and a half. And now I'm in a position that you coveted. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about where we are and where you're going. Stop being mad about where somebody else is and start working on where you're going. This is why companies lose people. This is why companies hire from the outside. I need to hire somebody you don't know because you have resentment. We have a company, we have a job, we have a spot full of resentful, hateful, mean, nasty people who only want to see good for themselves. And this is why our customer base is not growing, because you only want to see good for yourself. You don't care about the customer when you're talking about our product. You don't care about the customer when you're talking about our service. You don't care about the customer when you're talking about the ways that we can support them. All you care about is you. Because you don't work on yourself outside this job. You think the only place that you can work on you and the only thing to work on is getting more money. And so you don't talk to the people about solutions. You keep wanting to share your problems. Should never walk out anywhere in a company and see you telling somebody about management. Oh, well, you know the management here. Well, you know what about the managers? I'll tell you. What? Leave. Do better. Listen. Listen. Me and my brother were talking about the NBA, these basketball players. They're making all this money. And my brother was adamant. He was like, they make enough money to start their own league. They're the source. They're where the money comes from. They don't need these owners, right? They don't need these owners. They can start their own league. I looked him right in his face and I said, have you lost your freaking mind? Are you crazy? He's like, nah, man, like they got hundreds of, like if you put just the top 20 players together are billionaires. I'm like, yeah. This is what you're missing. Every owner is a billionaire. You're talking about 20 people together who can bring together about $7 or $8 billion. Let's give them that much. I think it's closer to like 1.5 to 2 billion. But let's give them $7 billion by 20 people. Let's say that the top 20 players in the league, I'll do you one better. The top 20 players in the league are worth $500 million that they can pool up and they can get it together and they have $10 billion at their disposal that they want to start their own league. There are 32 teams in the league and every owner is a billionaire or a part of a group of billionaires. Not people who have $1 billion, people who have billions of dollars. And you think these people are gonna let them just walk out there and start their own? No, they're not. Why is this a part of this conversation right now? It's a part of this conversation because you out here trying to tell somebody who built the company, who did the work, who hired the people who hired you, that they need to change who they are so you can be who you wanna be. Your focus is wrong. You don't get to walk in some job and talk about the managers. Well, become one. If you don't see the leadership you want to see, become the leader. You don't have to have a title to be a leader. You have to lead, but you don't care about nobody but yourself. You don't care about the customer. You don't care about the person next to you. So stop complaining. Focus on the right thing. If we don't find the right place to focus, we're destined for failure, people. We're destined for it. You walking in here talking about the managers. Let me tell you, you're a body. Got it. We know what you're gonna do. We know who you are. Cool, yeah. You can get as much overtime as you want. We can put you somewhere where you ain't gotta talk to nobody. You get as much overtime as you want. Pack them boxes. I can't believe I've been in here 12 hours today. What you gonna do? You ain't working on yourself. What you gonna do if you ain't here? Soon as you get your little paycheck with your little overtime, super happy. Oh, they don't tax overtime no more. And if you're not getting taxed for overtime, neither is the company that's paying you the overtime. That's a write-off for them. If you're gonna get taxed for tips, The company doesn't have to write that up as an expense anymore. That's a write-off for them. You think you're gonna make $1 and they're not gonna make $2? What are we focused on? We have to focus on the right thing to find the right place and get the right thing done. Developing discipline requires for us to focus on the right thing at the right time. First, you just gotta start doing something with a degree of consistency. And then once you start doing something, not consistency, with a degree of repetition, with just a degree of just doing it, just showing up. And then you have to be patient, and then you have to add the consistency. It's something I wanna do here on a regular basis. What is it? Let me find out and let me start doing it. Now we're being consistent. Now we have a goal. Now we have a target. Now we're hitting a mark. Now we're doing it for a reason. We're not just doing it just to say we're doing it. And then we have to persevere, because perseverance is the thing that builds you in the person you need to be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, who you need to be when the time comes for you to be it. So you can handle it. You ain't a millionaire because you can't handle being a millionaire. You can't handle millionaire questions. You can't handle millionaire problems. You can't handle millionaire concerns. You're a thousandaire for life. I can give you $1 million and you're gonna be a thousandaire by the end of the week. You have to develop, you have to become the person capable of living with and dealing with, because when they say more money, more problems, you have to say, I want this, but do I really? That's why it's important to know where you're focused, what to stay focused on. It's always important, man. It's always imperative. And I believe that it's possible. I know it's possible. I've seen the change in my life. I've seen the things that I've had to go through, the growth I've had to make, the development and the steps that I've made. And it's not easy. Dude, it's not. I ain't disappear on nobody. You just ain't go where I went. I ain't disappear on you. What they say, you wiggled when you should have waggled? We at the crossroads. I went left. We at a crossroads. There's a fork in the road. I went left, you went back. What? Of course we're not going to end up in the same place. You didn't even go right. You stopped going forward. You went backwards. No, I ain't disappear on you. I just grew. Focus. Bruce said, with $2 million, I would invest in low risk, 5% annual yield, and live off of $100K a year while devising new strategies to repeat this one. I hear you. I would literally never have the 2 mil. Never have to use the 2 mil. Right. That's what you're saying. You literally never have to touch the $2 million. You'd invest the money and live off the money that your money makes. And then the money would keep growing. Are you from America? I am. Who is that? Ciel? Dezik? I butchered your name. I want to say I'm sorry. I want to apologize here live on what I just did to your name. But yes, I'm in America. Bruce said it would pass through me. It would pass through. Here's what I would do, Bruce. I would put it into a LLC whose sole purpose is to acquire more securities and more property. That's me. That's my new thing. Live life as a business. It's a whole plan I have. Don't do anything with credit. Do everything with leverage and let the money grow itself. Listen, Elevate. I apologize. I said my bad. I didn't want to, you know what it phonetically is spelled like. I'm not going to say that. So here's the thing, guys. Here's what is important. I'm going to donate my money to you, Bruce. So here's the thing, guys. We have to stay focused. We want to stay focused on the right thing. We want to keep going, right? We want to keep building. And we want to make sure that we're in the right place at the right time. And I talk about discipline a lot on here. And the reason I talk about discipline is because it requires discipline in order for you to do the simple thing that Bruce just explained with your money. You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined enough to do it. You don't have to wait until you have $2 million. You can start to invest now and grow it to $2 million. Right? So you don't have to have a $2 million lump sum. Start building it now. Start putting the money in it. Get donations. There's nothing wrong for asking people to invest into your future. Hey, I'm building a dividend account. I would like for your assistance in being able to build it. I'm setting aside money of my own. I'm asking that you match it at 5%. I can send you a record of your investment, but you're helping me and you're growing the family, you're growing the legacy of my family. Some people are going to say no. Some people are going to say, man, that sounds great. Here's 20 bucks. Here's a flat $500 plus sign me up for 10%. Like, you can ask and you can start growing. It doesn't hurt to ask. And it goes towards a purpose. I'm still working. I'm still doing what I'm doing. All I'm doing is asking you to help me develop a legacy for my family. Right? Doesn't hurt to ask. Man, I just said that out loud. Why I'm not asking. Shoot. Hey guys, y'all can help me do that. Y'all can make donations towards my legacy for my family. Here's the thing that I'm trying to say to you though. You have to stay focused. You have to understand that when you get started in the right place. You have to make sure that as you do your work, you do the work towards developing and focusing on building your goal. And I always talk about discipline because it takes discipline. It doesn't matter if you ask somebody for $200. If you tell somebody, give me $200 and I'm gonna put it towards my future, and then you take that $200 and you go out and buy something to eat and see a movie, it's not going towards your future. That person believed in you more than you believed in yourself. You turned your confidence into a con game. And the only person you conning is yourself, because the major thing about a con game is that it has to have some principles of plausibility. It has to speak to somebody in a way to say, oh, this makes sense. And for most of these plans, they do. Most Ponzi schemes, most things that turn into cons or end up being scams didn't start that way. They started out as something legitimate. The people either didn't know what they do, didn't know what to do, or just chose to be ill with the way they did it. It still requires discipline. That's why we talk about discipline here. More than we talk about finance, we talk about discipline, because many of us know what to do with our money. The beginning of it is very simple. Spend less than you make so that you have something to invest. That's a simple principle. Do you have the discipline to do it? Or do you need a new car? Or do you need a new sock? Or do you need to go out with your friends? Or do you need to go see a new movie or need a new TV? Yeah, you need new socks. I'm going to applaud. I'm going to take that one back. Get socks if you need them. But let's find out what we're doing with our money. Let's find out where we're putting our money, and let's do something different with it. But it's not going to happen if we don't have discipline, which is why I talk about discipline here more than I talk about finances. There's a lot of ways to grow money, but you have to have discipline. If you lack discipline, it's going to be stagnant. It's going to be slow. And then you're going to stop because you're going to look at your life and you're going to be like, man, I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been doing it for 5 years. But I have no consistency. I had poor repetition. And I wanted it to be finished in a year and a half. I quit. I'm gonna take this little $3,000 out and I'm gonna go gamble with it. I'm gonna go hit lottery tickets. I'm gonna go learn how to scam 21. I'm gonna count cards. You know they got this guy in Vegas who they won't let in the casino because he always wins. I'm gonna go do what he did. Right. Now you seen those guys, listen, I always say I don't mean to pick fun. I'm gonna go a little bit off track right here. You seen those guys that come on YouTube and they be sitting there, don't do what I did. My mama gave me the last of her money. You seen them? You know who I'm talking about. You know the ones sitting there crying, complaining, claiming that their life is all horrible because they done made a bet. Don't be that. Don't be that. Starts with discipline. Starts with your work on yourself. We go back up here. Mastermind said, I'll be richer than Elon Musk. 350 million people and 5% have a problem. The number is quite large and won't go unnoticed. That's basically 16.5 million people. What was that about, Bruce? Did I miss part of the conversation? I must have. Starting in the wrong place will require you to redo it. It will. You put that screw in the wrong part of that table, you gotta take that whole table apart because the top of the table can't go on until this bolt is in the right place. You gotta grind. You can only exchange so much of your time for money. So make sure when you're grinding, you're working on yourself as well. I'm trying to be careful crossing the road, man. What do we have? This is, Bruce said, AI divided by 8,760 equals X. So your annual income divided by 8,760 equals what amount? Me 2 times, that's my fear. What's your fear? So Bruce says, money, I treat it like a video game, then it all changes. I seek to increase my X. I got you. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're putting together the formula. X is what you pay yourself per hour. Got you. So you're taking how much money you make in a year. Make sure you take how much money you take home, not how much money you get before taxes. You take your net pay and you divide it by the number of hours in a year. Is that what that number is? That 8,647? Something like that? The 8,470, is that the number of hours in a year? Last 3 months, America going very crazy. We can see that, how stupid American president. Don't worry about it. The president isn't an issue. You're looking at the wrong thing, Deke. You're looking at the wrong thing, trust me. So yes, so now you're looking at how much your life is actually costing you, how much it costs for you to be alive. Because money's all constantly going out your pocket, but you're working 40 hours a week. And you're only making money when you're working. So if that's the only time you make money, how much money do you need to make to get above what your life is costing you? Really anything. You just have to budget your money. You have to change how you're spending. If you want to get to X, which is what Bruce is saying, is you put in X and then you solve for what your annual income needs to be. So if X is, as he said, $100,000 a year, you solve that equation for what your annual income needs to be. Taxes are important. Hey guys, I've been out here now for a little while. I want to appreciate everybody for stopping in. It was a great conversation. Thank you everyone. Bruce, Wayne, Mike, Mastermind, Elevated, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Again, if you haven't done so yet, please hit that like button, double tap the screen wherever it's at. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just a great way to show support. As always, guys, I'm going to remind you, remember, it starts with discipline. And discipline, it starts with repetition. You follow it up with patience, which then develops consistency. All 3 of those things work on the thing. You will end with perseverance, which works on you. All right? And next time, guys, I'll be back on Monday. It's so great to have you guys around. Remember, Sunday is going to be my day off. Spend that time with the family. Spend that time in worship. We'll be back up again on Monday, and we're up between 4:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. Everybody, I want you guys to have a blessed day. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. God bless, guys. Take care.